Good afternoon. Today we're here in what looks to be just a red wheat field. Late in January they plant this. It's winter red wheat. It's going to turn green, stays green all winter long. But there's more to this landscape than you really know. What you got here and where I'm standing is the middle of the Chisholm Trail. Chisholm Trail is a trail that was started, or it was really old Indian travel trails, but Jesse Chisholm in 1867 brought a herd of cattle up those trails all the way to Abilene, Kansas, to the hub for the railroad, and started a thing, or a tradition, I guess, because they had a lot of cattle in West Texas and South Central, Southwest Texas, through the Texas Panhandle, but they had no way to get them to a railhead to get them to Chicago, where most of the butchering took place, to eastern parts of the country. So it's a very unassuming place, but it's a very interesting place. I'll put a couple of stills in here to kind of help explain it a little bit better. What we're here about is, when I went to Texas, I crossed the line just off 35, which can't be far from the Texas, somewhere where the Chisholm Trail went through, actually north part of Texas. There's a distillery called Whisk'e'y Hollow Distillery. It's just off I-35 as you go into Texas going south, and you take a right, and there's that little town of Valley View, and it's just right on your left. I mean, you literally go not even 2 or 3 blocks to the right, and it's in an old bank building on the south side. I've passed it many times when I go travel to Louisiana to see my wife and her family, and we'd never stopped, so I decided to stop. I was by myself, and they gave me a sample. They do whiskey there, but they also do a few other things. They got the still inside and everything. It's really a neat, unique place. It's worth definitely checking out if you're ever there. Anyway, they have 2 whiskeys. They have this one, and they have one that's a single barrel, but this is single barrel too, the way it was described to me, but it's a cask strength. Anyway, I purchased it, and at the distiller is $50. It can be acquired cheaper, I know, elsewhere through like Total Wine, I think it is, but it was $49.99 at the distillery. They put a little commemorative sticker on the side. They got to do that for it to be legal to sell at the distillery. It's 40% alcohol by volume. Handmade bourbon whiskey, distilled and bottled, and location is in Valley View, Texas, by Whisk'e'y Hollow. Even the bottles are neat because there is an irregular bottom to that bottle. That glass is sloped. I even find that unique. I like everything. But anyway, it's stilled, and I'll try to get that for you guys. I don't know if you can really see it. And there's the cover, the front label. But on the back label, they got a picture of their still with the double thump kegs. And it goes into their worm tub. And it's a rare double thump, distilled and bottled by Whisk'e'y Hollow in Valley View, Texas. Anyway, I was there in the evening, and when I was there and I was walking out and I was taking my picture, 2 other people walked in and both walked out with bottles of whiskey. So that tells you they're doing a pretty good job there. And after getting home, and by the way, it is about 35 degrees out right now, so Fahrenheit. They do a good job there. I was surprised. I bought this bottle. The other bottle was a little over 100, if I remember right, for the cask strength, and I just didn't want to do that. This is, and I contacted the distillery owner, and this, I got to refer to my notes here, so give me just a second. It's 58% corn, and then he didn't give the ratios, but the balance is single malted barley and some wheat. So I think by the smell of it and by the taste of it, you get a lot of that barley in this. And I mean a lot of the barley, and I'm moving around to stay warm because that wind is cutting hard out of the south. It's just a wonderful, soft smelling whiskey. It's got good oily. For 40% alcohol by volume, it's very oily. It's got a good, almost a slightly dark honey. It's medium to dark honey. It's not very dark, medium plus on the honey color on it. Almost a goldish color. Oh, but man, the odor is just awesome. Get the wood. The wood comes through well on this one in a good way. You get the vanilla, you get not so much caramel, more like a marshmallow, a light sugary marshmallow. Maybe roasted, slightly roasted marshmallow. Really, it's sweet. It's just, the nose is real sweet on that end of it. And again, it's that malted barley really shines with that corn. Still with that marshmallow and that vanilla. Almost a roasted corn, a little slightly roasted corn nose to it. And that's that wood. You get a little of that wood character going on. All right, let's get to the palate. Sweet. Sweet roasted corn with just a little bit of sometimes when you roast on the grill and you cut it with butter, sprinkle just a little bit of chili powder on top. It's got just a very faint, almost chili powder note coming to it. And that's the spiciness coming on. It's not a spiciness like a nutmeg or a cinnamon. There may be a little, there is a little slight cinnamon lingering, but it's not the bold cinnamons you're going to get in other ones. It's not like that. It's very subtle. It's more of a chili powder. It's not hot burning, but it's got that chili powder sort of taste to it. And there's a slight nuttiness there, just a slight one. And again, that sweetness just is so pervasive. You're eating marshmallows roasted on a fire. I mean, that's what you're eating with this, for the sweetness. Then there's maybe just an ever so bit in the very back of the tongue. There's ever so bit of a citrus zing in the finish. I love the stuff. I really do. No water needed, 40%. No water needed at all. And I'm telling you, I don't regret paying $50 for it. And next time I go through Texas, I'll be buying me another bottle of it. I really enjoy this that much. This has really been, this was a surprise, a pleasant surprise. You know, I want to give it probably, again, an unusually high score, but I give it a high score because that spicy chili notes that come through it balances out that sweetness. The sweetness is just a little, starting to be a little overbearing, but then that chili, there's enough of that chili powder, background cinnamon just to kind of kick it back and kind of even it out. It still skews to the sweet side, but it's still enough to balance it back, and it's not overly sweet to a point where it's obnoxiously sweet. I like it. I do, in case you can't tell. This is not at all like TX whiskey, which was all right, but this is better. This is a whiskey. Good and oily, coats well. It don't got an overly long finish, short to medium finish on it. The finish is there, it lingers for a while, but Finish is good with that little bit of citrus in the background. And I can't call it an orange, lemon, lime, whatever. It's just that general sort of tangy citrus note you get that it finishes with in the very end. I need to give it a score and move on because my hands are starting to get really cold. I want to give it a 90. I'm going to give this a 90 out of 100, and that's a very high score. Other people may not agree with me. I don't really care. To me, this is a very well-made, good whiskey. The casks are good. The cask influence in it is good. The background spirit is good. All this combines to make a very tasty whiskey. So I'm going to give it a 90 out of 100 and leave it at that. So if you get that way, down that way, my suggestion is stop and buy you a bottle and try it. See if it don't work for you as well. With that, I'm going to sign off. Remember, the spirit in your glass isn't running from you. Take your time, sip it and enjoy it. You'll be better for it, as will we all. And once more, a view of the Chisholm Trail. You're looking south, further into Oklahoma. Have a good day.